do 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 da ba da boo do 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 ba da boo do 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 ba da boo boo do boo boo do boo ba. Oh, all right, that's enough. Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of the Talk Show. This is your host, Adam Acree. How's everybody doing this weekend, huh? Oh, well, I guess it's not necessarily the weekend if you are listening to it on your drive into work, or maybe you are, I don't know, having a fire with some friends. Maybe you are skinning a pig. You're going to have a barbecue. I don't know. I don't judge your life. I just say roll tide, baby. I don't say roll tide. I've never once actually said roll tide in my entire life. That's some, Alabama stuff, I think. I don't know what they do down there. It's even as a white man who was raised in the country, even I'm scared to go to Alabama. I'm like, what? I mean, you see one tiki torch, you're like, I don't think we need to go down there anymore, right? Which actually, funny story. And when I say funny story, I mean not a story at all, just an observation. I was talking to a friend who spent some time on vacation in Alabama. They went to the beaches in Alabama, and I can't remember the name of the beach. Can't be that many beaches in Alabama, right? But I will tell you, he was an African-American gentleman, and I was very surprised by that. I said, "You're going to Alabama for vacation? I wouldn't even go down there, man. What are you doing?" But also, with the economy and everything, I can understand wanting to go to probably the cheapest state in the nation. Don't quote me on that. I do not have any data to back that up. I'm a little out of breath right now. I should maybe take it slow. Let's just bring it down. Let's bring it down. If you're in a moment of France, that's me saying the word frantic in a singular manner, and there's no way France is like is like the present tense in a state of France. What is that? What frantic, right? That's the word I'm looking for. But how do I use it in that way? Frantic nature, state of France, state of France, maybe, I don't know. But I'm realizing just how out of breath I am by the fact that I'm just going right into this, having no idea, no plan about what I'm going to talk about here. I did just have a nice shower. I feel refreshed. It is true what George Costanza used to say about showers, which is, it's very easy to sweat after them because, you're warm, you're cozy, and now you're doing stuff, and you're like, my temperature is still very high from the relaxing shower. I could totally see being in a situation where someone might think I was lying about something after I had a shower. So, good writing is realistic writing, as they say. Don't know who says that. But yeah, so because of that, I'm a little coming into this a little quicker than I maybe should have. So everyone, let's take a deep breath. In, out. I know it's going to sound great for the audio. In, out. It's what we call warm up in the comedy game. And I can officially say that I'm in the comedy game because I've taken one course, which is really all you need to be a comedy professional. It's not an actual, it's not an actual area of academic concentration, so it does not take much. But but we'll get to that later. I just got back from Cleveland. I spent the weekend in the Cleve, which is, maybe the ultimate place to spend a weekend and no more time than that. I think Cleveland is probably the poster child for weekend getaway and not full vacation getaway, because why would anyone decide to go to Cleveland for more than 3 days, or business or family? And guess what? Definitely that was the reason why I was there. It was not for any kind of fun other than just being with the ones that we love and supporting them when they need us. It's very important in life, especially at this stage of my life, when it's important to find the things that matter in your life and know when it's important to invest your time and energy and support to those people. It's much more difficult to find a lot of people to spend time with when you're older. And so it's important to find those people, know which ones are worth your time, and pour all of your heart and soul into those people. Would love to find a few more of those people, but whatever. That's another conversation. Let's talk about Fruity Pebbles. Okay. So I was at a diner this morning in Cleveland. By the way, I'm talking a lot of shit about Cleveland. Okay. It's actually a pretty nice city, especially if you have money. One thing I've noticed about Cleveland is that there's a lot of shopping in Cleveland, probably because there's not much else to do in Cleveland. But there's a lot of shopping. There's a lot of shops. I'll tell you, compared to Louisville, which is where I live, they really have retail. It's on a whole other level over there. I mean, it's just like shopping center after shopping center after shopping center. Like we have like one or two, maybe like decent, nice bouge shopping areas. They have like 30, it's ridiculous. I've never seen so many Warby Parkers in my life. So that's the kind of place where if you want to spend money, if you want to experience diverse cultures, they certainly do have that. I know Cleveland is probably the whitest place in your mind, which, it definitely has that reputation. But it is, again, compared to a more southern city like Louisville, it's much more diverse. Many more concentrations of different ethnicities and opportunities to explore different cultures and lives and foods, and a lot of great food in Cleveland. People, I think that it's maybe a little overlooked in that regard, but there is some pretty decent food in Cleveland. I went to this place in Cleveland that I'm just raving about to all of my friends. And I think it's called, let me see here. I think it's called Dairy Queen, Orange Julius. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't go there. We did drive past it. I almost went there, but let's see. What do they have there? What do they have in Cleveland? We went to, it's hard because like all the places we went to were just like kind of like, not really anything in particular to write home about. Just like, gosh, can I actually not think of the places that we went to? We went to a place last night called Spigot and Crumb. Is that what it was called? Spigot and Crumb? That sounds like a racial slur. Spigot and, oh no, I'm sorry. Oh, such an idiot. Crumb and Spigot is the name of the place. Gastropub. And it was fine. It felt like kind of like a bougie pub from like the early 2000s that, I guess they did something right and it was still, and it just, has been able to stay around. I had a Brat burger, which doesn't really do the title justice. I think when you see Brat burger on a menu, you think it's going to be like a giant, like bratwurst, like sliced in half. And it was not that at all. It was like, It was like ground pork. I mean, which like, of course you think it's going to be ground pork, but it's like, it's like it's like a burger patty that's pork, but they put a bunch of bullshit in it, like spices and herbs, and they put onions in it and sage. I think they put sage in there. It's like, get the fuck out of here. And it was just very much like it was dry. How do you have pork dry? It's one of the fattiest meats on the earth. I don't know how you have a dry pork burger. It's like they took all of the flavor and were like, let's just replace it with fucking oregano. It's like, come on, man, what are you doing? And then you serve me potato salad, which was it was fine. It was decent. And then coleslaw, which I'm not a big fan of coleslaw, but it's like you've given me two salady cold dishes with my dry pork burger, and I'm just very confused by the whole thing. It's like it wants to be a burger, it wants to be a Brat. It's neither of those things. It's sausage, but it's not fatty. It's like, what are we doing here? I felt like I was in the bizarro world of cuisine. Very good cocktails though. Cocktails were great. A lot of bourbon inspired drinks on the menu. So if you're in Cleveland, you should probably check it out. Steer clear of the Brat burger though. I know you're wondering how the Brat burger was. We went to another place that was like that was in like a bougie part of town. It was like attached to like a bowling alley. Let's see here. Can I Google this? I know this is what you guys are coming here for, is Cleveland culinary reviews. Let's see. Cleveland bowling restaurant. Nope, not bowling alley shooting. Nope, not the bowl. Damn it. Okay. Cleveland bowling alley restaurant. Here we go. Was it the corner alley? Or was it? It wasn't Punch Bowl Social. What? Oh wait, was it Pence Mechanical Company? No, it wasn't that either. Oh my gosh. I can't believe I've done this to you. For my very first solo episode. This is what I've done to you. We're going to cut this out. Pinstripes. That's the name of the place. Pinstripes. And that place, I tell you what, that place was really good. It was like if they took a bougie. It's just a lot of bougie. It's just like a lot of bougie pubs. It's just like if you have a lot of money, but you don't want to spend like a lot of money for someone who has a lot of money. Cleveland has a lot of places for you. But yeah, it was like a mix between it was like a corporate steakhouse mixed with like Italian, but also it's casual and there's a bowling alley in the back, Just like the only way we can make bowling alleys survive is if it's just like 20% of the business model and not the whole thing. That's the only way. That's the only way bowling alleys, or really anything rather for that matter, can survive. It's like, I was talking to my girl about what do you call them? Movie theaters? I think you call them movie theaters now. No, like those bargain movie theaters where it's like you pay $1 and you get to see a movie that came out like 3 months ago. I was like, man, what a great idea to bring that back. First of all, not a great idea. Movies can't cost $1 anymore. I'm sorry. That's the way of the world. But here's the thing. Imagine this. Imagine you're at a bar, right? Imagine you're at a bar and it's like a movie themed counterculture kind of bar, right? And you can pay $1 and they'll play, it's like, hey, we're playing Iron Man 3 all summer, or for a month. And if you pay $1, you can come see Iron Man 3. And when I say Iron Man 3, I don't mean that movie that came out 20 years ago. I mean like whatever the movie, say it's 2 months from now, from today in 2024. And you're like, oh man, I didn't get to see Deadpool and Wolverine. I would love to pay $1 to see that movie while also get totally shit-faced. Where can I go to do that? That sounds cool, right? Because now you're with your friends. It's an outing. You don't have to be like it. Does anyone miss watching movies with their friends? Do people still do that? Do people still go to other people's houses and say, let's watch a movie? I feel like that doesn't happen anymore, right? I mean, I feel like and I don't know, is that a today thing? Is that a generational thing? I don't know. It's like, I would love to just have some friends over. No more than 2 or 3 friends. You can't have more than 2 or 3 friends come do this with you. It's got to be close friends, but like, and maybe this is a basement culture thing. Maybe people with basements are the only ones who really get to experience the pleasure of having movie watch parties anymore. It's not something I get to do, unfortunately, but maybe one day we'll have a basement and that all of that will change. I don't know. We'll see. But imagine you're at a bar, okay, and you get to watch movies. You get to watch movies just like you were at the theater, and you paid $1, and there's a popcorn machine there, and it's old and it's stale, but that's what you're looking for, man. You're like, I just want to get fucked up out. I just want an excuse to be out. I don't want to talk to anyone. I just want to get drunk and feel like I'm with other people watching The Incredibles 3, a year from now or whatever, whenever that comes out. Like that's like there's a communal aspect to that I think that we don't get to experience as much anymore, right? Like imagine you have a place and it's like, hey everyone, we're gonna play this movie that's pretty good, and if you want to watch it, you can come watch it, but it'll be more fun because there'll be more decor. It'll be sort of like a mix. It's not like it's dark and you can't see everyone else. You can still do some people watching, but then the movie's on, and then now the problem with that will be, of course, does one talk during that social situation? I haven't figured that one out yet. If you have any thoughts on that, please let me know. I think I have a new email address. If anyone wants to send in reader mail, let me see here. Yeah. Just gonna sing so I don't have to cut out the silence. Mail at adamakerycomedy.com. So anyway, what I was going to talk about was Fruity Pebbles. Let's get back to the Fruity Pebbles. I had a waffle this morning from a diner in Cleveland. It was killer. So good. I've been wanting to, people want to talk about politics. They want to talk about what's happening in Gaza or Ukraine. I want to talk about Fruity Pebbles. Okay. Fruity Pebbles is the cranberry of 2024 and 3. I've been talking about this a long time, actually. If you know me, it's come up. That's all I'm saying. But Fruity Pebbles is in everything these days. Am I wrong? Fruity Pebbles has gotten its way into waffles and candy canes and coffee creamer and... Did I say candy canes? Oh my God, that is not what I meant to say. Although, great idea. Candy bars, right? Chips, probably some Fruity Pebble flavor chips. Cake mix, brownie mix. It's almost like a joke. I'll see every day I go to the store, I see a new product with Fruity Pebbles in it. And all I want to say about that, because I'm not hating on it, I love Fruity Pebbles. It might be the best cereal that's ever been created. I could go for a bowl right now. Fruity Pebbles, I think it's been decided that Fruity Pebbles is the superior cereal to Cocoa Pebbles. Okay. And I'll tell you why. First of all, it's self-evident that Fruity Pebbles is the better cereal because I'm not seeing Cocoa Pebbles in all this shit. Okay? There are no Cocoa Pebbles waffles. There are no Cocoa Pebbles milkshakes or ice cream flavors. And if they are, I'm going to tell you something. They're sitting on the shelves. They're not moving. And I can tell you that with 100% certainty. Because I watch these things. I pay attention to these trends. I am the fast food, junk food, king, Lord, and Savior. I'm the Holy Trinity of junk food and fast food. And it's just not moving. It's not moving, man. However, Fruity Pebbles, the thing is, there's so many things that have chocolate in them, okay? Everything's chocolate. Hershey's is chocolate, okay? Cocoa Puffs, that's chocolate. So, Cocoa Pebbles, it's not really bringing anything to the table that is not available in literally 80% of the market. However, Fruity Pebbles, right? Fruity Pebbles is colorful. It has all of the same strengths in consistency and texture as Cocoa Pebbles, which I'm not saying that's not a pro. That is absolutely a pro. It's like they're like Rice Krispies, right? Snap, crackle, and pop. It's got that. It's got what Rice Krispies has, but it has a very distinct flavor and it's colorful, so it's fun. It's like a toy almost. It's like, ooh, I'm having fun. It's like that line in Austin Powers, ooh, this is candy, I'm having fun. That's what it is. People love to have fun. People love to have different flavors in their mouths at the same time because we don't want to choose. We want it all. This is America. We shouldn't have to choose. We should have all of the flavors in our mouths at the same time. Neapolitan ice cream, right? That's as American as it gets. That was absolutely invented in America. Jazz. What is jazz? All of the notes at the same time. That's what jazz is. Okay. America is not about choice. America is about all of the choices at the same time. It's about, it's not about I could do whatever I want. It's about I can do everything. Okay. And that is why we will prevail in all things for the rest of eternity, because for us, it is possible to have all things all of the time. I've been saying this to my therapist. I'm just going to get into it with you guys here. You guys are cool, right? I've been talking to my therapist about wanting to do everything all of the time and not really being totally successful in any of them because I have a hard time sticking with one thing. And where's that coming from? What is that even about? Well, it's about the American dream and how I can do everything as long as I decide that that's what I want to do, because it is my birthright that I can do everything that I've ever wanted to do in my life. And I can also do nothing that I don't want to do ever. Don't want to ride a motorcycle. Don't want to bungee jump or ride a roller coaster. I don't want to do those things, but anyway, I digress. I'm going to slow down again. I'm running out of breath. So I just wanted to get that point across about Fruity Pebbles. If anyone has anything to say about that, please let me know. What's your favorite cereal? Write in. So anyway, if anyone listened to the first episode, that was that was sort of a bridging of the gap between this show and the show that I used to do with my girlfriend Allison, who is a vision. She's amazing. She's perfect in every way. In many ways, she is the representation of America in my heart, because she is everything that I've ever wanted in a partner. So, isn't that amazing? Aren't I lucky? And you're not. No, I'm just kidding. I don't even know who you are, people out there listening. and I just insulted you. Insulted? What? So, we did that show, and it was great. I mean, she's such a great podcasting partner. She has a history in improv. She's been doing improvisation for the last, I don't know why I said it like that, improvisation. She's been doing improv comedy for the last, as long as I've known her. So probably at least 5 or 6 years. I don't know the exact number. And so she's just very easy to riff off of. Which is why we used to have a show called Just a Couple of Thoughts, and we did that for about a year, and it was a great time, but I was just putting too much pressure on it, and and I think it ended up being one of those things where she'd be chasing me down to record, and like, well, this is kind of my project, and I'm the one avoiding it, so I didn't want to have to keep putting her in that position. So, and I think it was important to have sort of my own project so that I can just sort of explore and let it be whatever it needs to be, and really get to let my creativeness exist or not exist, or thrive or die. That remains to be seen. So I think the idea of what I want it to be is, I definitely want it to be more of a general topic type of show. I think we can do, my goal is to have some of these stream of consciousness type episodes sort of in between interviews with hopefully other comedians or other creatives or performers across town. And I've got a couple of people lined up that I think will be very interesting to listen to and hear their story. So I think that'll be great. And I think for me, I really just want to have an opportunity to have some fun and maybe just sit down and talk to a wide variety of people, not necessarily just myself and Allison. So, I hope you guys will join me in this journey, and I think we're gonna have a lot of fun. And let's see here. So I will say this: I've been taking an improv course over the last few weeks, and it was a 4-week intensive. Shout out to Improv 502, Stefan Gearhart and Victoria Wagner. You guys were incredible instructors, and I really appreciate the time and energy that you offered to me for a price. But I understand that we all have to eat. So I'd like to maybe have a couple of those guys on here down the road. So we'll see about that. But I've been learning improv comedy on the side just to sort of improve my stand-up skills. I've been doing that instead of actually doing stand-up over the last 4 weeks. So I'm actually doing an open mic this week at the Louisville Comedy Club at, when did that show start? 7, 8? I don't know. I don't remember. But it's going to be a good time. I just wanted to learn improv because, and I've learned it 4 weeks. That's all it took. I now know improv. I'm an improv prodigy, as they say. No one's ever said that, but I think the idea is, I'm just starting out in my stand-up comedy journey. Won't say career because I'm not making money doing it, but it is fun and I am enjoying it. And I think that I've bought into the idea that that improvisers can make good stand-up comedians, but stand-up comedians cannot make good improvisers. And I think the idea behind that is, I've been watching a lot of Rory Scovel, who is, I think, in my opinion, one of the greatest stand-up acts in the game right now. And he did the special maybe 3 years ago. I think it's called Live Without Fear or Live Without Fear. I don't know what the intended pronunciation is, but I think you kind of get the double meaning there. And it's basically just it's like a mini documentary about a run of shows he did where he just performed stand-up comedy completely improvised, completely off the dome. And I just found that so inspiring because, I mean, he was hilarious. And, and I have been, I've been watching improv comedy for a long time now, going to Allison's shows. And first of all, they're hilarious. Extra Crispy in Louisville, Kentucky, one of the best improv troupes. Certainly the best in the city. Gonna say that I haven't seen a whole lot outside the city, but I would certainly put them up against anyone in the country, 100%. Would they be better than anyone else in the country? I don't know. That remains to be seen. But I would put them up against anyone in the country. That's very funny. And then I was at this stand-up duo show about a month or two ago, and that was an interesting show because instead of stand-up comedians just straight doing stand-up, it was a number of comedy duos where two comedians teamed up and would perform a skit or did stand-up together, which is interesting. And what was so funny about that night was you had all these comedians, and granted, most of them are amateurs. Some had been doing it longer than others, but mostly very few professionals in the on the list performing. And they'd all prepared all this stuff, and myself included, and I wrote a sketch that was just kind of whatever. It was fun. I wouldn't say it was funny per se, but it was fun to perform. And my girlfriend Allison and her improv partner Nick, one of many improv partners. It was weird the way I was like, oh, they're partners. And self-conscious. It was just so, it was so eye-opening to see all of these comedians who had plenty of time to prepare something funny, and they all go up and they just kind of are okay. I wouldn't say any of them really knocked it out of the park, and they're only up there for 5 minutes, and then Allison and Nick, they go up and they go up for 15 minutes, completely make everything up on the spot, and they destroyed. They were funnier than every other comedian that went on stage before them. And I'm just thinking, like, how embarrassing is this for me, as a beginner comic going up, and maybe it shouldn't be, because as I just said, I am getting started, but you get all these comedians who had all this time to prepare. They went up and it was like, kind of whatever. And then these guys go up and they just kill it, and they just made it all up on the spot. I'm like, how do you learn to just be funny? Right. And I'm not saying that I want to be an improv guy, because I certainly don't. I think I'm mostly interested in stand-up, but just the idea that someone can just go up and just be funny, and you can have prepared material or you can not, or just, having that tool set to be able to just go up on stage and just be funny. And if something like you prepared is not going well, and then you're like, oh, well, let's give this a shot. And you can, really just pull things out of your ass as the show progresses, and it just is good. Like that's like a superpower to me. And so back to Rory, he talked about how he used to do improv, and that's how he got his start before he started doing stand-up. But he ended up being the guy that just didn't show up to improv because he was doing sets. And I'm just like, that's the idea. That's the move. Learn how to do improv first, right? And then let that bleed into your stand-up comedy. I mean, I feel like he's tapped into this art form that is just not used or leaned on at all. I mean, it's been 3 years since he made that special, and I'm not seeing anybody doing any more improv stand-up. Like, it's so bizarre, the idea that someone can just go up on the premise of like, hey, I'm just making this up. Let's see what happens. And and I understand why. It's because what a risk. What a risk to just go up there with the idea of I'm going to be funny and I don't know what I'm going to say. And you all have to listen to me. And I mean, that's what I've been trying to do for the last 30 minutes. And you can, this speaks for itself, I think. And just the idea that like, it's such a risk to go up and try to be funny. And if it's not funny, that's it. I mean, even improvisers, which again, maybe that's part of why improv can work is, when you're learning improv, something that they try to get drilled into your head early on is don't try to be funny. Try to be an improviser. Try to keep the scene moving, right? And funny things can happen throughout that scene, right? I mean, improv does not have to be funny. It just has to be a scene, has to be a story, has to be something that progresses. And if you can be funny in those moments, then that's win-win, but it's not ever the end goal. Whereas stand-up, that's 100% the end goal is to be funny. That's all you're up there for, is to make people laugh. And so, and there's, I think there's some other comedians out there who might disagree with that. Comedians that aren't funny, like, I'm not going to name names, but, that's another philosophical take on comedy, which I know is what you're here for, is philosophical takes on comedy. Is that, before you can be funny, you have to be interesting. You have to be something that you have to be worth listening to in the first place before anyone starts laughing at your jokes, And so it's something I've been thinking about as I try to do more stand-up, and definitely need to be doing more stand-up. And so we shall be doing more stand-up. And I tell you what, I think, this is the first episode. I don't think it needs to be too long. I've sort of gone up here and I've said what I've wanted to say, and I think that's it. So, you guys have a great week. We'll have some more shows lined up for you. And, I know this is just the second episode, so if you're actually listening to this, thank you so much. And, take care.